Hey up and welcome to Combat Corner. My name's Kobe.
My name's Jackson.
And today we've got a whole bunch to break down as usual. Pretty packed out fight night card in the weekend.
Yeah, it was good. Not many names like we discussed the other day, but it really did turn out to be quite the night of some interesting fights and some really good finishes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good up and coming guys who got some finishes, impressive performances that went to decision. So yeah, we'll be breaking that down. Whole bunch else to actually go through. I won't get into that. We've got some drama, bit of a giveaway.
And the drink of the day, being a Monday, is the Chubba Chups Sparkling Grape.
What's it called in its native language? Bottle. Bottle.
But let's get into the episode.
Yeah, let's go. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combat Corner.
Oof. It's crisp opening there.
Yummy. Yummy shit.
So this Monday segment of drinks has just turned into me finding random shit at the dairy, or the bodega, as you guys call it in the States.
The bodega.
The bodega. Yeah,
That's good.
Head down to the dairy, get a bloody can of Chopper Chop down you.
Yeah, for anyone that's not from New Zealand and maybe also Australia, do they call it Australia?
Yeah, that will.
So anyone who's not from New Zealand and Australia, we call like little corner shops that just sell like random little odds and ends, like your sugar,
Your milk.
energy drinks, your milk. That's probably why it's called the dairy.
Yep.
Someone left their scooter outside of one time.
Nick Minute.
And then it was gone. But yeah.
UFC Vegas 82. Maybe probably
there
a
was-
bit more topical than what we're currently
Well,
discussing.
Are you sure we could go into like New Zealand history? People might be interested in that. UFC Vegas. Yeah.
Allen versus Craig.
Allen versus Craig. Start at the top, eh? First of all, I'd like to give you a congratulations on your victory over the weekend.
Yeah.
Should we pull that up so just for reference for
think
people
so.
who maybe haven't seen Jackson's fluky win?
Well, here's the thing, right? I put most of my effort into studying one fight on this card. I
did.
studied it
You
really
really did.
hard, and it just it turned out that look at that.
So Jackson's name is Tender Rose Kangaroo.
That's my
Feel
name.
free to add any of us if you have verdicts as well, so we can follow along.
And if you don't, you should just download it.
Download it. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we're gonna do this every weekend. So if you want to send us in your picks, we'll chuck it on our story, and got a bit of a sweepstakes going. You win nothing, but
Maybe one day you'll win something.
yeah, maybe one day
We're poor.
you can get a can.
Yeah, Tender Rose Kangaroo,
So yeah,
183rd in the world.
it's actually really good.
I know.
And that was all from one.
No.
I'm gonna say it. It was fluky, in a way. Now, convince me it wasn't fluky. So Jackson managed to pull 9,000 XP on this Amanda Rebus fight.
Yeah.
None of his other ones came to fruition.
No.
Morales did win.
Morella, yeah, he won. The rest of them I got.
Completely wrong.
Oh no, I had I had him down. Didn't he win? He won. Where is?
No,
I'm
I think
wrong.
he got submitted.
I'm wrong.
Let's have a geese. Yeah, no, he lost.
Okay.
Submission round
Yeah,
three.
no, I was wrong then. I was wrong in a lot of areas, but the one that I was
These are mine
right
for reference. So I was
banked
I
my
was even worse.
XP.
I was way worse than you. I got Allen by decision, so I got everything else wrong. But yeah, so Jackson, sly dog, got 9,000 XP from this fight here because he. And do you know why he got 9,000 XP from that fight?
It was. Are you gonna claim this as your victory now?
Yeah, it is
No,
my victory.
That's not fair.
So Jackson picked his fight, sent me a screenshot, and I was like, "Look, you doofus, put down your use all your XP because in verdict you get a certain amount of XP to stake."
I don't think you were that nice, actually. I think it was a worse word than doofus.
Look, Jackson, I would just really appreciate if you could do it right, please. That's what I said.
Okay.
But
Either way.
maybe I called him a dickhead, and I'm not taking that back because he'd only put 100 XP on all the. He had like 400 XP remaining or 300. He goes in there last minute, drops it all on Rebus, third round knockout, and it pays off. And now he's 183rd in the world, and I'm 3,724.
Look, sometimes I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
Yeah, go on.
No, you're right. It's just the luck of the draw, mate. I looked at the fights. I thought, look, if there's going to be a third round knockout on any of them, it's going to be this one. I was right. That's it. That's just how it goes.
Okay,
but
sure.
Let's deep dive these fights a little bit more.
You've got the coin, dear.
I've got the coin.
He remains the winner of the coin.
I won it last week on the last episode,
You did.
and
How
I
did you even
retained
win that last episode?
generally being great again.
Oh, yeah.
Just more, probably another great prediction.
Some
or
form
just
of weird thing that
maybe
you said.
something really funny I said.
Could have been, yeah.
It was probably just my presence.
Not throwing up.
Yeah,
That was a big one.
Been
That
not
was a good
throwing
win
up
for you.
on the episode.
Yeah.
That's right.
Actually, honestly, like that coin, we should just do it right, random shit,
Yeah.
Like, oh, Jackson, hi. And you say hi better, and I'll be like, okay, take the coin.
I probably would say hi better though.
Hi.
That was pretty good.
Say yours. Do yours.
Hi.
But, all right, comment down
See-
below who said it better.
Mine was zestier.
All right, let's get into the fights. So, starting at the top, Jackson.
I mean, yeah, it was. Craig didn't look too great out there, to be quite honest.
No, it didn't.
The thing that surprised me was that Brendan Allen kept taking him down. Like after he just kept piecing him up on the feet.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I was a bit confused by. I mean, I had Craig down to win. I thought that he was that his jiu-jitsu was going to be too slick, but it turned out that was not the case.
No.
And yeah, Brendan Allen pretty much just bullied him for the majority of the fight in my eyes.
Yeah. I think, like you say, like it was quite surprising. He was piecing him up on the feet, and then he just kept taking him down. But it was almost as if he was like, your jiu-jitsu is nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
think
beat
it was-
you in your own game.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was more of a fact. I don't want to beat you. I want to beat you at what you're known for.
Yeah. Statement victory.
It was.
Yeah.
I think at least.
And it was super impressive, honestly.
That what he was 10th ranked, wasn't he, before this fight?
Alan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I think he was, yeah.
Catapult him up towards the top 5. I won't say into the top 5 because I don't think maybe 6, 7, somewhere around
Yeah. Where was Craig?
there. 13th.
He was 13th in the rankings. So, yeah, I'd chuck Alan maybe up to, yeah. He's got to go up a couple. It was a really impressive win over a former heavyweight,
Light heavyweight.
light heavyweight contender, So it is impressive. Chuck him up to 6. And I want to see him fight Marvin Vittori next.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really.
What
I
makes you
think
say
that's
that?
a good one? Because Marvin Vittori's very, very well rounded. He's fought the champ multiple times. Well, he fought Izzy multiple times, and he did look okay, especially in that first fight. Vittori's just a tough guy. Very hard to finish. Almost impossible to finish, I think. I don't think anyone could finish that guy. He's like an orc from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me of. He's just insanely durable.
Yeah, he is.
And he's a good wrestler. He's strong. I'd like to see if Brendan Allen could do that to someone like him on the ground, or and on the feet.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah, maybe him. I don't really. Maybe
See,
a
he's calling.
Cannonier, a
Yeah, he's
Whittaker.
calling for. That's the thing, though. Anytime that one of these guys get to break in middleweight, you and I both sit here and we say, "Oh, maybe they should fight Vittori or maybe Cannonier."
Yeah,
There's never really anything else to it. But like,
he's calling the guys, right?
He's calling for a title eliminator at UFC 300, which just around the corner, not too far away.
Yeah, not long.
But does he see? The thing is fighting at middleweight's got to be tricky at the moment because there's so many guys that are right on the doorstep of a title shot. And Brendan Allen, I think, is a wee ways down that list, at least in my my eyes. And he's got to have.
There's a bit of a logjam up there.
Yeah, he's got to have another 2 fights, I think. Maybe, like you say, set him up against someone like Vittori, because like Vittori hasn't moved his way up to a title shot yet.
Not quite. Who's
but
his last fight?
Good question.
He got beat up by Cannonier, I think. Yeah, it was. It was Cannonier. I don't think he's booked though, and I don't think Cannonier is booked either. So
Yeah, there is a couple guys in that top realm.
who do you think? So if Brendan was to get a title eliminator, who do you think it would have to be against for it to be like an eliminator?
I think O'Nickel is another guy who's been coming up middleweight
That would
rankings.
be an interesting fight.
Comes up, another one who deserves a shot in the next couple of fights.
Brendan Allen versus Hamza that could be a good title eliminator.
Yeah.
I don't see them making it because I just don't. But that would be a good fight. That would be a sick fight actually.
Yep.
Brendan could cause a lot of problem. There's Costa as well.
Yeah. I mean, so there are
there.
a number of guys that are
Whitaker.
there. Whitaker.
If you beat Whitaker, you need to fight for the belt. Basically, that should be the rule.
That's fair.
Like,
Brekus is
yeah.
showing us that's what
that is literally
that's how it happens now.
Because as soon as he beat Whitaker, everyone was like, okay, no, he's the number one. Like, that's just simple.
Well, I think it's because Whitaker cemented himself as the number one for so long.
Yeah.
That no one really even thought of taking that off his hands.
Yeah.
But
So beating Whitaker, maybe, Vittori, Whitaker, Cannonier. Maybe not a Whitaker, not quite that high up. Whitaker deserves a top guy. No, honestly, maybe Whitaker. Maybe it could be Whitaker.
yeah, I like it. He's not
Should we
booked
do
either.
that? No, he's not. He's not fought in a wee while since.
Yeah, let's lock it in.
Yeah, right. Dana, make it happen. Sean, Shelby.
Again.
Interesting division though. Middleweight, it's really busted open since Izzy lost the belt to
busting all
Strickland.
over the place at the moment.
Yeah, well, actually, since it's really weird that you said that. Strickland, no. Ever since Alex Pereira beat Izzy that first time, the middleweight division was never the same. We went from Izzy just knocking off contender after contender. That's not even a weird word.
No, it wasn't. You smiled first.
Izzy knocking up contender after contender. Jacking off? No, knocking off. We'll stick with that. So Izzy knocking off contender after contender, decision after decision, impressive victory after, he was just dominant in that division. And then Pereira comes over, knocks his block off. He obviously wins the rematch in extremely impressive fashion. And everyone's like, all right, Izzy's back. Next fight, loses it to Sean. And the divisions are everywhere. Like,
Yeah, people were left scratching their heads after that.
yeah, there's people out there that could beat Sean Strickland,
Yeah.
There wasn't people who could beat Izzy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's another perfect example of how MMA math just shouldn't exist. But yeah, man, that did blow the middleweight division right open.
It did.
But
And Paul Craig should be next for a title shot.
100%. I mean, coming off a very impressive loss.
Yeah, he was super good. You can see that like little arm clamp he had at one point.
Yeah,
Super good, and his guard's really good. Honestly, I do love Paul Craig though. He's such a sick guy, but he's just not well rounded enough to be at the top of the sport. It seems.
it does seem that way. Unfortunately, I mean, this drop down to middleweight did seem like a good thing.
It did.
After the first fight, he looks drained out there, man. Like he looks like he's a
Skeleton.
He's a skeleton, yeah.
Braveheart.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think light heavyweight was definitely his natural weight. Middleweight looks like it is a bit of a push. I mean, I could be getting that completely wrong, but yeah, just from the way he looks out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, you can never tell how someone's feeling, but he does look a lot more drained.
How are you, mate?
Plays a factor.
Paul,
He's just super like inconsistent, and yeah, Paul.
how are you?
Maybe he'll come on the show. But yeah, what's next for Paul then? Like, what do we recommend for him? Because he's probably going to be listening, and Dana's probably listening. So, middleweight, he's got to fight lower in the rankings. Even I don't know, it's tough. He's 36 years old. He's very one-dimensional. He's never really developed any great striking skills or even wrestling skills. He's more of a guard puller or like, he's a submission threat, but he's not like wrestling you to the ground kind of thing efficiently. What is next for that guy? I don't know.
Maybe you could keep Tom Aspinall busy while he's waiting for the heavyweight.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a great idea.
Paul Craig versus Tom Aspinall for the interim heavyweight belt.
All right, sounds good. Book it.
Book it. Oh,
almost dropped my mouth there. Should we just have a wee peek at the middleweight rankings, just so we can
Why not?
So we can MMA. No, wait. UFC middleweight. Do you want to do a bit of a rever?
report. You'll do a rever report.
Do a rever report.
I can't remember what it's doing out there. Oh, I'm gonna read it off my phone for everyone. So they can.
Oh, that's creative.
It's very creative, isn't it? 18 degrees 2 hours ago. Still 18 degrees.
Pretty good.
Fear
Not bad.
/ wind. We've
What's
got
that
some
in
fair
Fahrenheit?
wind out there.
We do.
Goodness me.
Goodness gracious.
It feels like 17. I know it says 18. Doesn't feel like it. What's that about, actually? Can we bring that up? I know this isn't a weather podcast, but how can it feel like a temperature that it's not? Shouldn't it just be that temperature?
Because of other factors, right? Like wind, clouds, like shade, this and that, you know? Mainly wind, I think.
It's just weird.
Humidity.
Though, isn't it?
Not a very humid country. So it's less likely to feel hotter, like as hot as it is.
Who's out there right now who's sitting there looking at their phone and going, 18?
It's like 17. Oh, I was right.
Far out. Just
Honestly,
it
though, I
doesn't
understand
feel like
exactly what it means. Because I went out there before. Doesn't feel like 18. Feels like 17. It's all day.
Middleweight division.
Oh, yeah.
You were
right.
bringing that up.
Let's go
I
back
was
to it.
waiting, and then I started talking
Eddie's
about
flatmate's
weather.
actually, Eddie's dad is actually a weatherman, so we could ask him.
We will.
Coming next week on the pod. So
Weatherman.
what we have here. So obviously Deshaun, Deshaun number 1, Israel Adesanya number 2. Well, number 1. Strickland being champion, obviously.
Yeah, we want to go down though, don't we? Don't we want to look at down?
Yeah, of course. What
we
am I
want to
doing?
look for Craigie boy. We want.
So Paul Craig number 13. Calvin Gastelum. Gastelum's booked. Yeah, Imamov. Chris Curtis.
He's booked.
CC.
He's booked. He is booked.
Chris CC. Oh, right. No, yeah, that's fine.
He is.
Why did I just search in Raig?
Craig Joan. You're having some troubles there.
Wait, just give me a sec.
Maybe he's having computer troubles. This is actually quite a nice drink,
I don't know, I'm quite enjoying it.
but it does taste like a lollipop.
Tastes like poison.
It does.
Let's have a look at Paul Craig's last couple fights. So he obviously, he beat Andre Muniz, who isn't in the rankings as of right now, but yeah.
Fight him again.
Yeah,
Just
chuck it
go
out there
back
again.
and fight the
Even though
Muniz.
he submitted him in the first round.
Yeah, do it again. Do that. We should do this every time. Because last time we had a little moment and we shook hands and we said if someone can screenshot it if someone could screenshot it and send it to us,
It went.
they
And
win.
no one did.
And no one did. And we said we'd find something to give them. But maybe this time I was on the phone to my dad, okay?
His father.
I was on the phone to my father. Now, if you can tell me who I was on the phone to,
Jackson was on the phone to someone.
now, if you
His
can tell me
father.
who, my dad.
If you can message us, father,
If you can
you get 10% off our store.
if you can get a photo with my dad,
We'll give you $1 million. All right, what were we actually talking about?
we're talking
Sorry,
about
guys, yeah.
middleweight rankings,
We're back.
and we're talking about Paul Craig
So Paul
and the
Craig.
fact that he fought nobody last time.
Nunez.
Muniz.
Muniz.
I get his name
Frankie
mixed up
Muniz.
with nobody, and won, and then he gets popped into the rankings, and he loses straight away.
Chuck him against Imamov.
Evolve, maybe.
Imamov.
Yeah, I like that fight, but
3-rounder.
I feel like he's booked as well.
He very well could be.
That could be a problem. You know, you can't book Paul Craig versus Evolve if Evolve is booked for a fight.
It would be a shame to do that to someone. That would be a real pain.
It's silly.
Yeah, he's fighting Roman. Who's Chris Curtis fighting next?
It's on the Sean Strickland Drekus card.
Oh yeah, he's at the bottom, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy
Chrissy.
Action Man. Chris Action Man Curtis. He's fighting this guy. He looks like a beast.
Oh, yeah?
So, Chris Curtis,
Paul Craig.
Paul Craig, put him up against Jack Della Maddalena in the welterweight division. Just each fight he should go down.
Yeah, Paul Craig, every time you lose from now on, cut more weight.
Yeah, you got to go down.
It's got to
another division,
work
Paul.
at some point.
Um,
Maybe once he gets to bantamweight,
Anthony
his
Hernandez.
jiu-jitsu will be a problem for Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, I think it would be as well. It would. They're about the same height.
There you go. Actually, I saw a stat about that recently. It's Sean O'Malley has the same height and reach as DC. Daniel Cormier.
That makes it super impressive what DC was able to do, eh?
Yeah.
Super impressive. For a fat man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe Anthony Hernandez, if he's not booked, just chuck him in there against him. Go on.
I think what we're saying is that he needs to fight someone in the lower end of the rankings.
Yeah,
i.e.
lower of the top
like-
15.
Yeah.
Or just below.
Yeah. And
And book it soon. He didn't take much damage. He did. Let's move on. Let's move on. So underneath that card, we had Michael Morales, not Miles Morales, but Michael Morales versus Jake Matthews. Yeah, it was all right.
It was all right.
It was okay.
That's all I'll say about that fight. I was expecting that to be a hell of an
Yeah.
ordeal.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I was expecting Jake Matthews to do a little bit better, but he was really kind of taken away from the fight by the attributes of Morales.
Mm.
You know, he was just bigger, like much bigger. He
Yeah.
looked way bigger.
He looked huge.
quicker as well. He did he dwarfed Matthews. He's a very, very big dude. Tall, rangy, powerful. Hurt Matthews a couple times. Nothing crazy significant. Just seemed bigger, stronger, quicker, better. What was 30-27, 29-28, 29-28, all for Morales.
Yeah.
I thought it was 30-27, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was where I was sitting as well.
Mm.
But yeah, it's tricky, eh? I mean, from the moment that they both got reads on each other and then kind of started getting to work, you could really see that it was just going to be Morales.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, Jake kind of just tended to shy further and further away from the scrap as it went on.
Yeah, he seemed intimidated, as if like he was looking at this guy and he was like, "There's no way I'm going to beat this guy. He's just bigger than me. Like, it's too late now. I can't adjust. And look, I'm just going to fight out a decision." And he did well. Like, he didn't get dominated. He had moments. He hit him with a good few shots, but no, it was Morales' night, and that guy could be a real problem at that division.
I agree with you.
Mm.
Well, 16-0 now.
Yeah, 16-0. That's super impressive.
Yeah, it keeps getting better and better.
Mm.
But who else is in that
That division.
yeah, that we can match these guys up against next?
I want Morales to go top 15.
Yeah, I think so. He's definitely proven that
No, for sure.
odds.
Yeah, because he obviously fought Max Griffin, then Jake Matthews. Whereabouts are we? So the welterweight division, I'm thinking lower top 15s as well. Obviously, neither of those guys were ranked going into that fight, but let's give him a challenge. You know, like Sean Brady's booked.
booked. Gary's booked.
A lot of these guys are booked. And Michael Chiesa, that could be a good
Is
fight.
Kevin Holland booked?
Kevin Holland isn't booked. No, I don't think he is. His last fight was Della Maddalena, which he lost. Kevin Holland, that could be an interesting one. Might be slightly too high up. I'd maybe like a Chiesa to break the top 15 and then
Yeah.
start putting him into the other.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. Kevin Holland is only ranked number 12 on the back of two very close fights. So he could very well be ranked 6th right now, where
Mm.
Stephen Thompson is.
Yeah,
After that
yeah,
fight
for
that
sure.
they had, that could have gone either way.
Mm. He obviously beat Chiesa semi recently, and Della Maddalena, that was a very close fight.
He's so active, man. It's great.
He is.
Of course, you're going to move
it's great.
around in the rankings like that if you're that active.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But back to Michael Morales. Yeah,
Top
I
15.
I like what you say about Michael Chiesa. That seems like
Yeah, he's a good grappler
a good
as well.
test for him.
Good.
Even Neil Magny's booked, isn't he?
I think, yeah, he is. He's also one of those guys who's extremely active.
He is extremely active.
Mm. Inconsistent.
Yeah.
Similar with Chiesa. I don't even know if Chiesa's even going to be fighting anymore. He seemed pretty dejected after his last fight against Holland when he lost because he got dominated.
Mm.
But, you know, yeah, chuck him in there. Put him against Michael.
And Jake Matthews will most likely end up against someone that we've never heard of.
Yeah, Jake Matthews. Yeah, I mean, give him someone obviously out of the top 15.
Yeah.
After that performance, we need to see him go back to basics, fight a dangerous but beatable guy. Maybe on like an Australia card.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because then he can jump onto a main card for an Australia card.
Yeah, I don't think there's one of those booked at the moment.
Not planned, I don't think. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, have him headline against Colby Covington, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, moving on.
Australia,
let's
this
go.
place is a dump.
Yeah, Australia's a dump. Brazil used to suck. You filthy animals suck. Filthy.
Next fight?
Filthy. Yeah, the next fight. I enjoyed this. Great jiu-jitsu battle on the ground. It was.
Yeah, I'm not laughing about that though, am I?
What are you
No,
laughing
it
at?
was. I'm not saying it. It
What? What was it?
It's
I
a
wanna know
great
now.
jiu-jitsu battle.
The filthy animals.
Yeah,
That's what he said in the first
I know.
fight.
I know. It's just
Australians are filthy animals. You know that. They're great. You're Australian.
Yeah, that's right.
He's Australian. Well, he's not really Australian. He kind of is.
Alright.
Would you say you're Australian or Kiwi?
Well, on paper, I'm Australian.
Are both your parents Kiwi?
No,
Really?
really.
Your dad's Kiwi.
My dad's Kiwi. My mum is Australian.
Ah.
I was born in
But you were raised
in
here.
Australia, but then raised here from a young age. So on paper, I'm Australian, but on the inside, I feel like a New Zealander, I guess.
Show me.
Like this place has been home for
This
the
is his
last
home.
21 years. So
Oh, there you go.
Chase Hooper had a pretty good fight though. Didn't
Chase
he?
Hooper was bloody good, wasn't he? No, Chase looked brilliant, man. But that fight honestly could have gone either way. Two extremely high level jiu-jitsu guys, and it looked like it was two high level black belts who hadn't met each other before on the mat having a spar, and yeah, Hooper came out on top. He managed to sink in the choke first, but one of them was getting submitted no matter what.
Yeah.
It was constant flowing, moving.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. It was.
I agree. But it was still exciting though.
Hmm.
And I think someone in the commentary team brought that up just as the fight was starting. Like normally it's not something you sit down to watch a fight, and as soon as they start grappling or go into like a jiu-jitsu exchange, you're like, oh, for God's sake, like you want to see people go in there and bang it out. But for this fight, I was quite happy to wait for one of them to push the other up against the fence and take them down and start.
That's where they highlight.
Yeah,
That's where
exactly.
they're good. Yeah,
So-
no, I 100%. It was like, well, I think a lot like I'm not one to say that I don't enjoy jiu-jitsu and grappling in MMA. I don't enjoy grappling in MMA when it's just one guy holding the other guy down and there's just nothing happening. Because that's when it gets boring. But when there's high level jiu-jitsu and it's always moving and the other guy's so good that he can't be held down, and it's like position after position, scramble. Oh, he's just tried a submission attempt. Oh, it failed. Now he's trying. That's when it's like,
Yeah, I
this
agree.
is sick. Like that's, yeah.
Well,
And
at that
then-
point, it's still a fight. You're still trying to get to the other guy's neck. You're still trying to get to the other guy's throat first. But yeah, like you say, when it is just one guy who's tired and knows that he can hold the other guy down, so he will do that to get his breath back or whatever. It's
just domination essentially, and
I
it's
agree
just
with you.
it's much funner seeing like a good example would be like watching Khabib fight. Khabib was never boring. He used to dominate people in a way, and then he'd find a submission or he'd beat the shit out of them, and it was just like, holy shit, this guy is amazing. Like this is insane. It was exciting. But then when it comes to like, I don't know, think of a good example. Usman sometimes back in the day, not as much like later in his career, but he was known as like a boring champion who just held people down and just dominated people with his grappling. And he'd just hold them there and not really progress. So something like that. Obviously he's more exciting now, but this was an exciting one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
High
definitely.
level.
Definitely.
We both picked Leavitt. Why did you do that?
I don't know, actually. I was trying to remember. Well, I think what we should do is we should lock in these verdict picks while we're running our picks through on the episode.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
idea.
I had kind of forgotten who I'd picked by the time that I did it on Sunday morning.
I think you picked Leavitt. I think we both did.
Mm.
And I think the main reasoning behind that was Chase Hooper's coming up from featherweight. He's a smaller guy in physique. He's obviously a decent amount. Leavitt's obviously a decent amount stronger, older, more powerful. It just seemed like he was going to kind of big brother him, but that's obviously not how it turned out.
No.
Hooper looked really good at 155.
He did.
He looked
I'll
strong
agree.
as well.
Where do we put him next?
Hooper, probably still outside of the top 15, I'd say.
I agree. One more.
Yeah, one more fight to kind of bump him up into that position to then fight someone in the top 15.
Then someone like a Moicano.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
Good.
that's the perfect
You know,
fighter.
like a well-known name that's still, like you say, beatable.
Yeah, someone who is beatable. Who do we have towards the... Oh, wait,
We're going lightweight, aren't we?
Oh, lightweight, there we are.
Yeah, there we are.
So towards the bottom, we'll chuck him in again. Oh, I just can't imagine Chase Hooper, and no offense, Chase, you're a great fighter, but Drew Dober's huge.
No, Chase would get that done.
You think?
Yeah, in my opinion. Well, Drew Dober's got a very coloured record. Hear me out, all right? I think there's something going on behind the scenes here.
Drew
This
Dober's a
guy-
racist.
Yeah. You book Drew Dober against a white man, he loses.
It's true.
You book him against anyone else. Look at his record, man.
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
telling
I
you.
know. I've
If
seen
you're
it. I
listening
have.
at home thinking I'm just some weird conspiracy racist person, no. Drew Dober's got something going
He
on.
is.
And
No, yeah, it is
Chase Hooper's
very
going to
strange.
expose him for it.
Yeah, he's gonna be like,
He's going to what?
I don't know. He's gonna be like, sick of you beating up all these black guys. It's not fair. It's not good.
Yeah.
Racist.
It's not good
Homophobic.
for our culture. You know?
Drew Dober's like the nicest guy ever. He's honestly like the coolest guy when he's talking, and he's kind of like Quaid, like very similar to Quaid in how he speaks. Super nice, but
obviously everyone at home knows who Quaid.
everyone knows
We're
Quaid.
talking
Oh
about
no, he's
it.
similar to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Okay.
Like that's his kind of vibe, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, chuck him in there against a Drew Dober after he gets one more win in the top 15, outside of the top 15.
Mhm.
Drew obviously set at number 15. Chuck him in against him after one fight, and then give him a title. Just give him it. Don't even let him fight for it.
It's not even like it's no weight class or anything. It's just a belt.
Just give him a belt. Here you go, son.
You've done enough.
This is the belt, the ultimate belt. And then yeah, for leave it, he's gonna have to leave it off for a while. Just sit on the couch for a bit, leave it, and then come back and work his way back into a title.
I was slapping the hell out of my knee just then for the
Saw
people
that.
that couldn't, aren't
Oh
getting
wait,
the
Chase
visuals.
Hooper, he could fight. Who's the guy who beat Paddy Pimblett?
Jared Gordon.
Jared Gordon. Chuck him in against Jared Gordon. That'd be a good fight for Chase Hooper, I think. Just outside of the top 15. He's just got a win as well. Jared Gordon.
That's right. He fought on the prelims.
Yeah.
Not this weekend gone, but the weekend before, wasn't it?
He had that good comeback victory. So yeah, Jared Gordon for Chase, I think. That'd be a good fight.
Yeah.
And then leave it again. Take a bit of time off.
Just leave it.
Leave it, mate. Spend a bit of money. Buy a new car or something. You have fun. But yeah, the rest of the card, it was good. It was a good card. There are obviously the main three fights. There's obviously that one that you fluked.
I fluked, but can we speak about that fight for a second? Because what a banger.
Yeah, that was insane. And a good comeback as well.
A great comeback. That first round, she was getting absolutely pieced up, and you could see it in the second round. Some conversation must have happened with her coaches because it was a different woman out there.
Yeah. She got beat up. Her face was absolutely pummeled.
Face was mangled, man.
Yeah.
It was gone.
She didn't even have a face.
No, it's rough. You know?
Yeah, that was a super impressive finish as well. Her opponent did seem to protest a little bit. That was a good stoppage.
Over what?
She just kind of got up and she was a bit like, what?
Yeah.
But no.
No, it was a good stoppage.
Mhm.
Her hands were down, like to the strikes that she took before that. Her hands were just like she was done.
Yeah, her hands were just...
Yeah, like there's that screenshot that I was showing you just before we started this.
Yeah.
She's just standing there with her hands down, getting kicked in the head, and she wants to keep going.
Yeah.
All right.
No, Rebus is extremely impressive, honestly. She's kind of like knocked up there just a little bit before, but she's never quite got into that top echelon. But give her a top 15.
Isn't quite like
fighter.
broken through the ceiling.
Yeah, she's
yet,
not quite got like
all the way. the way there.
Should we have a wee peek at her division? There she is.
Who?
Oh, no, that's not her. What am I doing?
Why do you always go back to Amanda Lemos?
I don't know. Rebus.
We've had this problem
Lemos.
before.
Lumos Maximus. All right, so he is the women's strawweight division. That's her division. And she is placed at number 10 currently. Let's chuck her in there with Jessica Andrade. That'd be a good one. Jessica just won. Gets her into that top 5. Amanda Lemos, maybe even, who's coming off a loss. Pump her up there. People like Rebus. She's a fan favorite. She's funny. Obviously a great fighter. She can find the finish like that.
Yeah.
Good at finishing people off. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a happy ending all around.
Was. For her fans. Sure. But yeah, saying that, I don't really know who her opponent is. Who her opponent, Laura.
God,
no,
we're good at this.
Pinheiro.
We're so good at this.
We are. She wasn't even in. So
Who are you, woman?
oh no, she was number 9. So yeah,
look at
she'll
that.
go up. Yeah, I don't know. Someone Angela.
Fight
Hill.
Angela Hill. Boom. That's
Everyone
done.
needs to fight
I
Angela
bet she
Hill
will
at least
too.
once.
Angela Hill
Yeah.
just got to win.
Yeah, true.
So
Angela Hill has fought
Pinheiro.
everyone in the world.
Yeah, I'll admit she had some wicked ground and pound. Took me down.
Oh,
was-
UFC 5. UFC
Yeah.
4. Yeah, moving on.
Moving on. Got some little bits of news to talk about.
Some interesting comments from the interim heavyweight champ, which have been cleared up, but yeah, it's still good to talk about.
Cleared up.
Yeah, Nina posted about it.
Yeah, no, I saw she posted about it. And
And-
was saying that it's in response to the stuff that he sees on her Instagram story and the questions that people ask her. And
No,
stuff.
the questions that she asks people, like
Oh,
the
right.
inappropriate stuff that she asks people.
Right.
So he was basically coming out and saying something really inappropriate to get her back for asking all these fighters
Oh, okay.
these weird questions.
Right.
It was all explained. Look, I don't hold Tom in any weird regard. I think he was just trying to have a laugh, and it didn't quite hit.
No, it didn't. Like, no, I don't hold him in a weird regard either. But like, if I was caught saying something like that, you know, it just seems a bit. Hey, you gone?
Maybe he meant like finger, like the middle. Like
I think we
point a
all
finger at
know
someone.
what he meant by finger. But yeah, it was a fun one nonetheless.
Tom,
I mean,
you dirty bastard.
Yeah,
you dirty northern bastard. Yeah, no, it was interesting. When I first saw that, I was like, wait, what? What is this? Like, what is he talking about?
I thought it was fake. I thought
Yeah,
it was
same.
AI generated.
it was so
Surely no one
strange.
just says that.
I thought he was maybe like trying to like trick her, or we didn't really get the context. But then like you watch it a couple times.
That's the
you're like,
thing
no.
too. Is I saw a clip of it and I thought surely there's some context to this, and I went and watched the full video,
Mm.
and no, there wasn't.
It's just an awkward
There
ending
wasn't
to it, and then
any
they move
context.
on.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah. I
Like-
mean, Tom, just so you know, I haven't been fingered by a UFC fighter. So
He has.
what else have we got to talk about? The Rock?
Yeah, there was a wee
Dwayne.
clip of The Rock, Dwayne. Dwayne
Dwayne the Rocks Johnson.
on the rocks. I'll take a Dwayne on the rocks.
The Rocks
Thank you.
Johnson.
He said that he wanted to fight in Pride back in the day, when Pride was big. Obviously, they got a lot of wrestlers in to fight. And he said he'd mentioned that he wanted to fight in Pride, which is interesting. Can you imagine The Rock in an MMA arena? It'd be quite
Yeah.
insane. Think
It
about
would.
how big he is now.
Well, they were all pumping whatever into their systems back then. Anyway,
Well, he still
so
is.
no, but yeah. I mean, he couldn't turn around and fight in the UFC tomorrow, could he?
No,
With,
no.
There's no USADA anymore, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of piss test at least that he'd.
Yeah. Well, the
burn
weird thing
for-
is, I don't think he had any like background in high school wrestling, or much at least. Like he wasn't well known for his high school wrestling or
He was
college
a football
wrestling.
player, wasn't
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
he? I thought it was American football.
American football, and his dad had wrestled before. He also told a story about his dad saying, like, when he told his dad he wanted to be a professional wrestler, his dad was like, "Why? You've seen this life; it's not good. Like,
Mm.
this fucking it's shit. This is hard." But he did it anyways, and he's obviously like the most famous person in the world right now.
Is he?
Probably.
I thought that was Andrew Tate. Oh no, he was the most Googled person.
Yeah, most Googled. But yeah, if he fought in Pride, that would have been sick, man. That would have been pretty crazy.
No, it would have been
Nutty.
crazy.
Would have
There's
been
a lot of-
nutty.
A lot of those
Chuck him. I want to see him versus Undertaker,
The
UFC
Rock
300.
versus Chase Hooper.
Who would win
Heavyweight-
that?
Heavyweight championship.
Who do you think would actually win? Like, if that was an actual fight that was on the cards, like somehow it had been made.
Who do I think would win? It's hard, eh? I mean, it's like that Bradley Martin 260. You know, like
Come on, brother.
come on, brother.
You're a
I'm,
podcaster.
I'm 260. You know, I guess it's just a bit of that. Chase seems like too much of a nice guy to do anything. You know.
He just absolutely demolished a fighter in the UFC. So he's, oh no, sorry, Rock. I'm not going to touch.
I'm trying to think of this. Is this in a cage?
Okay, The Rock versus Bradley Martin. Who's winning?
Probably The Rock. See, he's old though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's probably in his 50s, 40s, late 50s, late 40s.
I
Sorry.
haven't seen tape on either of them.
No, neither. I've seen tape on like their knees
With
and their ankles, but not. Yeah,
that was a good one.
that was
solid.
didn't I?
You want to talk about the drink?
No,
Yeah.
no. I just
No.
wanted to do that.
Just
I wanted
hit
to see if
the
that came out.
microphone with your can.
I did. I did. I can do it. But yeah, that would have been interesting. Just a wee point. It's a bit light in the news this week, guys. Obviously, we had a good fight night and we've broken it down. But yeah, there's not that much going on in the UFC world,
No.
in the MMA world. I know that Bellator is apparently officially going to be purchased by PFL on, I think it's going to be announced this coming Thursday, so Friday in our time. So that's interesting, but that's all we really need to know. Like, there's no plan, there's no this, that.
Because you came here for Bellator news, didn't you?
Yeah, you came here for
Came
Bellator
here
news.
to learn about what's going on in Bellator and
I'll put a comment at the below. Like below the video, I'll say we start talking about Bellator at minute number 39. If you want to skip directly to that.
yeah, righto. Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you came here for news on Bellator. No, you didn't. You didn't even know Bellator was a thing. You probably paused this, Googled Bellator, and then you're like, oh, it's another MMA
No, I'm pretty sure they
organisation.
came here for the weather report.
Oh, yeah,
Probably.
true.
That's the big part.
Feels like
Feels like
Bellator's getting
17.
sold this Thursday.
Feels like no one gives a shit about
It's
Bellator.
18 degrees outside, but it feels like Bellator's for sale.
Cheers, weather report. Imagine they did that. Just dropped a couple bits of news just underneath.
It's great.
34 feels like
Yeah.
Tom Fingers Nina. Feels like Tom Aspinall dropped from the UFC roster because of sexual comments.
Oh, God, man.
Anyway, yeah. So I thought, because there's not really much news, let's predict our top 3 on the card fights for UFC 300.
Okay.
If you could choose the top 3,
Mm-hmm.
main, co-main, and the third fight, what would you pick in an ideal world? But then,
Ideal
consider the
world.
fights that are coming up, like Volk's fighting.
Yeah.
It's got to be realistic, you know.
Yeah. Ideal, realistic world.
Tell me.
Connor Chandler. That's got to be on there somewhere. And I think just out of spite, like, it doesn't make sense, but I have that as the third fight because it's not a title fight.
It's never gonna happen.
It's not though. But I just don't see how. Look, we've spoken about this before. I don't see how they can make UFC 300 and not have 2 title fights headlining it, or even 3. Like, what? You know, what's stopping that?
What's stopping it?
That fight is stopping it. Chandler versus Connor. So that fight, I think, is what's going to happen for UFC 300. I think that's been like toyed around with for too long now to not happen.
BMF belt.
BMF belt. Michael Chandler at BMF.
Strip Jakey, I was gonna say. Gaethje. Strip Gaethje of his BMF. Give it to those guys.
Strip Gaethje, the guy who beat Michael Chandler.
Yeah, strip Gaethje. Take him off.
Hey, Gaethje.
Hey, Justin. Nah.
Gaethje when Straight G walks in. You know?
Yeah, I've seen that. So you're gonna put Chandler, Connor, third on the rung.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then what? So Leon's booked.
He is. But he'll
Um,
probably be able to be ready in time.
okay. Oh, but who wins that? You know, who wins out of Colby and Leon? That's tricky. Let's say you've really lost me now. I can't think. So
You want to do mine?
yeah, you do yours.
Okay, you have a think. and
Yeah,
I'll
you
mine.
do yours. What's yours?
So mine would be headliner, Connor Chandler. It's going to be,
Mhm.
pretty sure. Co-main, Israel Adesanya versus the winner of Strickland versus Duplessis. That's going to be either the main or the co-main, I think, personally.
That's a
Third,
good fight.
That would be a
Yeah.
good fight, right? And there's enough time-ish, right?
When's UFC gonna be?
January.
happening?
UFC
When's
300.
UFC gonna be? Happening? Yeah,
When the UFC?
300. No, it's not happening in January.
No. It's going to be April. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
April
that's
or around April. So they got
pushing it.
It is pushing it. It's 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months.
Sorry,
Yeah,
there's
that was a
some
loud
very
cough.
strange noises coming from outside. Anyway, yeah, 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months after that fight happened. So it could
Yeah, it's a
it could
push.
very very well happen. So if it's my like dream thing, I'm going McGregor, Chandler, headline, Israel Adesanya versus the winner of Strickland and Duplessis, co-main, and then the third fight on that card, Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vittori as a title eliminator. Who else? Probably not another top. Yeah.
They've booked all the exciting shit already.
Put interim heavyweight gold on the line. Tom Aspinall versus
It's messy.
Cyril Gahn.
So messy. You go putting interim belts on the line, that gets messy.
It's happened before.
I know it's happened before. And look what happened to him. Are you talking
Who?
about Tony Ferguson, or who are you talking
No,
about?
he didn't. No, he lost. He got stripped and then he got it. No, I'm talking about who was it? I think it was Diego Brandao. Happened to. I think he had to defend his interim belt. That's what I'm thinking. That's
I
what I'm.
don't-
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. All right, that's it. No
Yeah.
questions allowed.
Fair enough.
So, what are you thinking now? Giving him some time to rack his brain. What's he
I
going to
just
say?
listened to you the whole time though, and then talked to you. Okay, Connor versus Chandler can headline the prelims. 'Cause it's got to headline something, doesn't it?
Does,
And
and then we're just
I
having
think,
2 fights in the main card.
Yep, 2 fights on the main card. We'll have Amanda Nunes comes back, to fight
Wonder.
Ariel Hawani.
Yes, finally.
In his long-awaited UFC debut.
Dana would let that happen too.
He would. And then headlining, because that's the co-main event. Ariel versus Nunes. Brock Lesnar
Versus The Rock.
versus Bradley Martin in the main event.
Okay.
No, Brock Lesnar versus Paddy Pimblett in the main event.
Fat Paddy.
Yeah, fat Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good card, and I think you could be right on a couple of those. I think you actually could be pretty close. Seems like those things are in the works. Like they're leading up to those. Like they've been kind of like leading towards them fights. So yeah, I could see it happening.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar and Fat Paddy have been beefing hard.
They have. They have. So, and you know, they've obviously set up.
No, I think they'll sign Dylan Dennis to headline UFC 300
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if we saw him on that card against like a Paddy or something.
against Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan.
and MMA.
That would be sick. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be sick.
No. It'll be Nate Diaz versus Deontay Wilder headlining
Yeah.
the fight.
Yeah, because that was something that was talked about, wasn't it?
It's going to happen.
I
needs to sign
think
the
I think we're
contract.
talking shit here. Should
You
we,
reckon?
Yeah, should we rate the drink?
Let's rate it.
I really like this. I
If,
really enjoyed
look,
this.
yeah, I'll give you a
And it
real.
matches my top.
If you like grape lollipops, you'll love this drink. That's pretty much it. It tastes like if I drank enough of them, I would die within. 15
Yeah, it's full of
minutes.
sugar, man. That's insane.
I'd love to tell you how much sugar's in it, but the can no speaker Inglés.
You got the
And-
sticker
Oh, it does. Oh, I'm wrong.
most of the time.
41 grams of sugar. for not even 350 mils.
This is insanely bad for you. Don't drink this. But it was pretty good.
You knew that. You knew that. You went down to the dairy and bought a can of Chubba Chub. You bought a lollipop drink. You knew it was going to be bad.
That's what we do. You bought it as well, dickhead.
No, I'm saying that these people who bought it and they didn't know it was bad. So
I don't know if it beat the Wang Lao G. I'm bloody joking. I think we both can agree.
Yeah, it beat the Wang Lao G.
But where did it go?
I'm going to put it in second place. For
Do
me,
you prefer that to the Calypso?
for me, it's a second place. Look, the Calypso had a cooler bottle.
I probably agree with you, actually.
And it had a more interesting flavor, and it was a lot more fun to talk about. But the Chubba Chub sparkling grape, it's versatile, and it is. You can have it on loads of different occasions. And I think what we both agreed on last time was that the Blue Ocean lemonade made by Calypso was just a picnic drink.
It was a picnic drink.
You can't have it on any other occasions.
And
we
you need
tried
like
to have it here, and some terrible things happened.
We got really sweaty.
We got really sweaty.
And that was it telling us not to drink it, basically.
Picnic drink. But this is nice. It could be for any occasion, but
Poor thing. It's
Wang Lao
got to
G
go.
is in the bin.
Move this bad boy along.
Wowee.
There we have it. There we have it.
There we have it. It's
Wang
on-
Lao G is off the list. But not gone forever.
No, we'll hang on to it.
We're going to keep that right there, dead center.
Dead central.
Just for memories.
Hmm.
Next
But-
week on the show, Prime.
Are we going to try it? We got you though, didn't we?
Never trying that shit. Just there for visual effect.
What I think we should do is say goodbye and say thank you.
Goodbye.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Say like.
Like,
Say comment.
comment,
Now subscribe.
now subscribe.
And we'll
And
see you
we'll
on Saturday.
See you on Saturday. Thank you.
Peace.
Comment, subscribe. Bye.